Hey, good morning. Welcome to the JeepSolid garage. So I had to buy a really big air compressor because I'm going to be sanding and painting my vehicle here soon. I wanted to share with you guys some of my experiences with this and one big problem I ran into. So this is the Husky 60-gallon air compressor, and this thing is a beast. It has plenty of flow to run the tools that I'm going to need. Here I have a random orbital sander and my paint gun, and I needed a large air compressor to be able to run those to properly sand and paint my vehicle. And this thing weighs in at almost 200 pounds. It is a beast. Installing it, honestly, it wasn't super easy because it runs off of 240, which I did not have 240 over here. Let me take you through the installation process real quick, and then we'll talk about the one big problem I had with it. The first issue I had was finding the space to put this. It actually says you're supposed to have 18 inches on all sides. You're not supposed to put it up against any walls or anything. I did the best I could. It's a little too close to that wall. The motor does get warm. I just kind of keep an eye on it and make sure that I have plenty of airflow around it. But to get that, I had to kind of redesign my garage a little bit, had to build a new shelf up here. So here I'm installing a new shelf above where the air compressor is going to be. I was just using some scrap wood I had from around my house. And I always like to paint the shelves in my shop because it just helps keep my shop a lot cleaner looking. I like the look of the painted shelves a lot better, so this will be a nice additional space for some of my supplies. The air compressor was delivered on a nice big pallet here. One really cool thing is it was delivered free from charge. I did order it from Home Depot, and it's always super exciting to have a big fresh piece of equipment delivered like this. So I was excited to open this up and get it installed. So as I mentioned earlier, I had to install 240 volts over to this compressor. I did not have 240 access over in this corner of the garage where I really wanted to put the compressor. So I have to add some 240. Fortunately, with my breaker box here, I do have enough room to add in a couple extra breakers. But I have to feed wire down the wall, open up my breaker box. That's all just, it's a hassle, but it's all doable. And I had to run some good 10-gauge wire up the wall and through the attic, and then down the wall on the other side to where my receptacle is gonna be. Of course, I had to punch open a spot in the wall. That's always kind of fun, cutting into fresh drywall. But hey, I'm gonna be able to patch this up, no problem. Run the wire down to my new 240 outlet. Shouldn't be any problem at all. And of course, you got to take the time to patch it up properly, paint it, make it all look nice, because I don't want my shop looking junky. And now with the air compressor in place and plugged in, I got power to it. We can go ahead and flip it on for the first time and give it a test run. Now I was finally able to use it, and it has plenty of volume to run these tools I need. 11.5 cubic feet at 90 psi is plenty to run my random orbital sander and my paint gun. And honestly, I'm able to run this thing non-stop without ever running out of any air, so I've been super happy with that. But I did run into a big problem. One morning I was going out to use my air compressor, put everything on just like I normally do, flip the switch, click, nothing, completely dead. I still had power over to it. I wasn't sure what the problem is. Had to go through a bunch of troubleshooting. Finally called the representatives at Husky. They were super helpful. They actually sent me a brand new motor. We determined that the motor went out for some odd reason. They sent me a new one free of charge. Only took like a week to get here. They were super nice and helpful. So I was able to swap that motor out. Let's take a look at that process real quick. So finally, after that was done, I was able to get back to sanding, problem solved. And of course I had to install a pressure regulator and filter because it'll produce a lot of condensation, and you don't want condensation in your air hose when you're painting or anything. Gotta get rid of all that water. So I've been super happy with this 60-gallon from Husky, serving my needs just fine. I'll be sure to include a link in the description below of a lot of these extra products like the hoses, the filters, some of the adapters I had to get to install this. But yes, I would definitely recommend this. It's working great for me. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a good day.